Have you ever wondered why the loudest people aren't always the most powerful? Some people command presence without saying a word. They walk into a room and everything subtly shifts. Not because they demand attention, but because they've mastered the art of restraint. They don't explain, they don't defend, they don't react, they withdraw. And when they do, people notice. Because in a world addicted to noise, silence becomes unsettling. It breaks patterns. It challenges control. It forces people to confront their own discomfort. What if you started doing the same? What if, instead of replying instantly, you paused? What if you chose not to argue, but to leave the room? What if your absence became more powerful than your presence? You've been taught that being constantly available makes you kind, lovable, or strong. But here's a truth few speak of. Excessive availability is not generosity, it's self-abandonment. When you're always ready to respond, to please, to fix, people learn how to pull your strings. They feed on your reactions. They rely on your emotional predictability. But when you break the script, the game falls apart. Suddenly, those who used to count on your instant replies, your emotional labor, your willingness to bend, are left uncertain, anxious, uncomfortable. And that discomfort reveals everything. Because it's not about you, it's about how they were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." So ask yourself, who becomes upset when you're no longer emotionally available? Who tries harder to provoke you when you stop reacting? Who fades away when you finally say no? These aren't signs that you're doing something wrong. They're signs that you're growing. You're choosing presence over performance, silence over reaction, energy over exhaustion. And yes, it will be uncomfortable, because for most of your life, you were taught that being needed equals being valued, that love is earned through sacrifice, that saying yes keeps you safe. But true safety doesn't come from pleasing others. It comes from honoring yourself, and that begins with a single decision: to stop giving away your energy like it's infinite, because it's not. Your energy is sacred, and when you spend it on meaningless arguments, on people who don't reciprocate, on situations that drain instead of nourish, you're slowly erasing yourself. You become tired, bitter, confused, and eventually empty. Silence is not withdrawal from the world. It's a return to yourself. When you stop responding to every comment, every demand, every provocation, you reclaim power. You begin to observe instead of absorb, to choose instead of react. You shift from survival to sovereignty. People might not like it. They'll call you cold, distant, selfish. But that's not your burden to carry. It's their discomfort with your boundaries. You see, you were never meant to be everything for everyone. You were meant to be whole for yourself. So next time someone says, "You've changed," smile gently, because you have. You've stopped betraying yourself just to make others comfortable. You've started honoring your own time, peace, and purpose. And in doing so, you've become what few dare to be: unavailable. Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Not because you don't care, but because you've learned to care for yourself first. And when you do, something incredible happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining your choices. You stop showing up in places where your presence was only ever convenient. And that space, it begins to fill with people, opportunities, and moments that actually nourish you. You become magnetic, not because you're trying, but because you've become centered. So, if today feels quiet, let it. If people distance themselves, let them. That's not rejection. That's realignment. Your silence is not a weakness. It's a statement. It says, "I no longer serve where I am not respected." And in that space, you grow. Quietly, powerfully, unapologetically. You're no longer available for what drains you. You are now fully available for you. Because the art of becoming untouchable doesn't come from shouting louder. It comes from listening deeper. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally sovereign. It's about recognizing where your energy leaks and sealing those cracks with intention. Start paying attention to your patterns. Do you always rush to answer the phone, even when you're drained? Do you agree to help before checking your own needs? Do you explain yourself to people who don't truly listen? These habits aren't small, they're energetic agreements, and each one chips away at your inner power. But when you shift even one of them, when you pause, breathe, and choose a different response, you send a new signal into the world. A signal that says, I am no longer your emotional crutch. I am not here to be understood by everyone. I am here to live aligned with my truth. And yes, this kind of living may be quiet, but it echoes, louder than words ever could. So the next time you feel the pull to over-explain, to rush in, to fix, pause. Let silence answer first, because in that pause, you'll find the space where your power lives, and that's the space where you finally become whole.